allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ashley, can I have roll call, please?
Cavalier. Cavalier.
Here.
Alt.
Here.
Clot.
Here.
Menard.
Here.
Hima.
Here.
Jurdy. Fisher.
Here.
Briggs.
Here. Okay, it's time for the open forum. If anyone would like to address council on any issue not already on tonight's agenda, may come to the podium, state your first and last name and address, please.
I promise, Mayor, this is not on the agenda. I may not be a smart man, but I can learn. So first, I just wanted to apologize. I didn't want any individual council member to think I was blaming them for running unopposed. Really, I think the city just needs to do better communication. But when I say that, I also want to commend running the social media for the city is doing an awesome job right now, and I think going forward, hopefully it won't be an issue. But we definitely want to increase citizen participation in city government, and maybe there's work we can do, you know, we don't have to talk about it tonight, but maybe reducing the size of the council and maybe increasing, you know, it's something we could talk about with the charter and stuff. That's definitely not out of the question, but there's things we can do to maybe educate the public about how much council members get paid and, you know, per meeting and whatnot. I think times are tough and it can help people that want to run, that there's benefit for the community, there's benefit for them and everything. And I just wanted to commend the city council for the decision that at the last meeting about the pool. I took all my kids to the Santa swim, and they were all very happy to see Santa and swim in our amazing pool that we have. And so I'm just, that's all I have to say, so thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the council chambers? Kean, anybody on the phone bridge, please?
Nobody on the phone bridge, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Agent logged off.
Okay, we have a couple presentations tonight. We're gonna start with Wendy. Come follow me.
He said follow him.
She's following directions.
Or you don't have to, but. Okay, the city of Crookston, in grateful appreciation to Wendy Alt for your outstanding contribution, exceptional performance, and dedicated commitment to the Crookston City Council. The city council employees and grateful citizens of Crookston, December 31st, 2024. Thank you for your service.
Thank
It's
you.
been an honor and a privilege to serve with you.
For me as well.
No, I'll do it.
All right, here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we also have a presentation from Diane Hayes and John Wynn tonight regarding the Small Cities Development Grant. Thank you for coming again.
Well, Mr. Mayor and City Council, it's nice to be here, and nice to be able to give you a presentation here on the, some of the things that we need to have you act on to get the Small Cities program up and rolling here. As you're aware, the city was awarded funding for the Small Cities project in the amount of just about $1.3 million. And that is $1,198,000. And that funding is going to be used to rehabilitate housing and commercial buildings and also mixed-use rental units in town. And we've, through the Department of Employment and Economic Development, which was the entity that awarded the funding, we've completed the environmental review that they require and submitted, that to them. But one of the things they also need approved are a number of plans here. Those are the things that we're here to talk about tonight real briefly and have you approve so we can let them get copies of them and then let us proceed with the work. And we're just about ready now to begin doing that, so. The first thing, I guess, would be that I have here is a fair housing plan. And essentially what that is it's basically to promote non-discrimination when you're dealing with housing issues. And there are things that we'll do to try and promote that. We'll meet with banks and landlords and that type of thing and provide them with fair housing information. And, but we do need the plan that, affirms that the city, is supportive of that, acted on here tonight. The second thing is a program income plan. And there's the funding that will be used to rehabilitate the properties is going to be secured with, it'll be deferred loan funding, but it'll be secured with repayment agreements where the property owners have to retain the ownership of the property for a certain number of years. And after those years expire, then there's no repayment required on the property or on the improvements. However, if they sold the property before the end of the period that's covered, and that would be 5 years for commercial rehab, 5 years for rental rehab, and 7 years for owner-occupied housing. If it's sold before that time, that would regenerate some program income to the community, and you would just have to be able to, or you have to understand that and use that funding again to do additional community development eligible activities. So you could do more housing rehab or more commercial or more rental or anything that would be eligible under the Small Cities program.
That amount is prorated by the years, correct?
Yes, yeah.
For the owner occupied, not for the commercial
Okay.
or rental.
Okay. Then we have a drug-free workplace requirement, which is, this is a HUD requirement that just passed down to the, recipients of the funding. And essentially what you're doing is you're establishing a policy where you maintain a drug-free workplace and you'll take whatever steps are necessary to make sure that that's followed through with. And by drug-free, it's illegal drugs. We're not talking about prescription drugs and that type of thing. Then we have prohibition of use of excessive force. And basically what you're doing is you're just certifying that you prohibit any law enforcement agency from using excessive force on nonviolent, demonstrators or during a nonviolent demonstration. That's just one of the requirements that they have. The next would be the residential anti-displacement relocation assistance plan. It's technically, what you're doing here isn't going to relocate anybody, but they still make us, go through with adopting the plan. Typically, what this is used for is if a property is bought and there's individuals that are residing in the property and it's bought for demolition or whatever, they have to pay relocation fees and that type of thing for, the individuals that are displaced. So, anyway. And the Section 3 plan is, it encourages any of the contractors who are working on the proposed project to hire low-income people, from the community. And it doesn't, there's no specific requirement where if a contractor is working on a project that they have to do it, but it encourages them to do it, so. And then we have an administrative contract, and that would be between the city and Northwest Community Action. And it's to, basically implement the project. We'll get the applications sent out. We'll inspect the properties. We'll write the specifications, bid the project, bring the projects up to be awarded, and then we'll monitor the progress of the contract work that's being done, and then authorize payments once the work is completed to the satisfaction of the property owner and the person doing the inspection. And we'd be working with the EDHA on all of these. As much as they want to handle, that's fine. We're here more or less just to try and help with them. And it's going to be more cost effective if the more they're able to do, the better. Because we're in Badger, Minnesota, which is up by Roseau, so it's a little bit of a trek down here. So anyway, and then we have just procedural guidelines, and it's for each of the programs. The rental rehab program, which spells out the steps we'd have to follow to implement the rental rehab program here in the city. And then there's one for the commercial rehab and one for the owner-occupied rehab. And I believe that you folks have been provided with these documents. So anyway, I can try and answer any questions that you might have. And if you don't have any, I guess I'm done.
Got one question back to local contractors hiring low income. Can you treat them as a subcontractor, or do you gotta supply workman's comp and?
Well, it would be as an employee, I believe, so you would have to do all.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right, thank you.
yeah.
Could you cover that, you talked about squatters? Or something you were talking about that earlier, can you talk about that, or I thought you said something about,
I think it was about just displacing people if they were just gonna tear it down and move people.
oh,
I
okay.
don't think that necessarily was squatters, I think it was people who just lived there that.
In a unit that was getting bought.
Yeah,
Okay.
We are proposing to acquire any properties and demolish them with this project, so there's really, it's highly unlikely that a person would be displaced.
Okay,
If that was the case, so we'd have to find housing for them?
That's in the city exhibit.
And cover some of the costs of relocation.
Sure.
and that type of thing.
And then off of what Dale asked, like what is the incentives that are given to the people to hire low income workers and things like that?
There really aren't any,
Oh, okay,
It's
it's
just a
just an ask?
yeah,
Okay.
Yep,
yeah, they'll just be encouraged to do it.
and there's a form that they will have to fill out. Just saying they acknowledge that and they themselves could be considered a Section 3 contractor if they're low income or if it's a woman-owned business. So there's, basically it's a form and we do a reporting piece to deed.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Safe travels and Happy New Year.
You too.
Okay. All right, this brings us to the agenda. Does anyone wish to add anything to tonight's agenda?
Your Honor, under the regular agenda, item 8.05, a resolution regarding adopting the property tax levy for taxes payable in 2025. We changed to reflect the abatement amount of $20,000 was added to the special levy. This changed the general amount to be $4,466,171, keeping the total levy amount to be approved of $4,486,171.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Thank you, Tim. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got Henry. Discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Cavalier? Aye. Alt? Plot?
Aye.
Menard?
Hi.
Hima?
Aye.
Fisher?
Aye.
Briggs?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. No public hearings. This brings us to the regular
Your
agenda.
Honor, you missed the consent agenda.
Oops, sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, this brings us to the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda?
Your Honor, under the consent agenda, item 6.09, the resolution regarding amending the school resource officer, the SRO contract with the Crookston School District. An addendum was added to correct the clerical error for the second payment. I've added the updated packet on the City of Crookston's website to reflect these changes.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you, Clayton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Don. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Cavalier?
Aye.
Alt?
Aye.
Clot?
Aye.
Menard?
Aye.
Hima?
Aye.
Fisher?
Aye.
Briggs?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. No public hearings. Now to the regular agenda.
Yes, Your Honor. Item 8.01 is a resolution regarding adopting the fee schedule for the 2025 year.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? Motion by Don. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Henry. Discussion. Anything to add to this, Jeff?
No, Your Honor. This fee schedule that is, thank you. This fee schedule is the only real significant changes. The pool structure does include in-city and out-of-city rate structures. I believe it's a $2 difference per person on those, on the daily use. Moving through that. The significant changes, as mentioned in my report, have to do with planning and zoning with the idea to recoup actual staff costs for zoning change requests and variance requests. These have been significantly increased with the philosophy that we've set our zoning in place in order to pursue our comp plan and the goals of the city, and that it should be a rarity or there should be compelling evidence to move away from that zoning. So you'll find that the zoning increases have been significant from, I believe the old rate was 250. The new rates are in the 2,500 and 1,500 range. That is in line with actual staff costs and legal costs to prepare each of those zoning and a variance for council discussion and direction.
So, as far as, I get it on the variance, cause people would think twice, but on the zoning piece, seems, does it discourage from building as far as moving to this kind of increase in the,
It should not. It would help the city to guide development in the areas that are compatible with our comprehensive plan. So if, as an example, if someone wants to build a residential house on a vacant lot on Broadway in downtown, that would not be compatible with our zoning. So a variance or a zoning change, we would want to dissuade them from doing that and ask them gently to find a more appropriate place for a residential house. The same being for putting a Casey's in the middle of a residential neighborhood that where the traffic patterns. These are examples. I wouldn't anticipate Casey's would want to do that, but it's in order to encourage development in compliance with our comprehensive plan and current zoning codes. Zoning changes as a matter of practice should be very rare. Again, and also with variance, and the taxpayers of the city in general should not bear a burden for an individual project. By assessing these fees, that does remove the majority of the burden from individual or from the taxpayers of the city, and it puts it on the direct property that would benefit, or the owners of the property that are asking for the change that would benefit from that change. So the taxpayers are not then being not subsidizing that development.
Is this in line with other similar communities?
This is in line with virtually every city that I've seen. Zoning and variances are typically a much higher cost. As an example, you'll find CUP changes. If it's identified within the ordinance as a permitted use, the fee is still $150.
Okay.
It's because that is in line with our comprehensive plan. It is in line with expected uses. We've already done the research. There's no additional staff time. It's look up the ordinance, it's there, move forward, put it to planning and zoning and move forward. These are for the items that would be outside of the bounds of norm.
And I know that Greg had reached out to a lot of communities too to get information, so.
Perfect, thank you.
I got one more question regarding this. I don't know if it would fall under the zoning or variance. Let's say someone wants to, I guess you could call it maybe a grandparent type house, but it would be connected to an existing home. Where would that fall under?
That would likely, I would argue it would be a connection. It would simply be an extension of that home and the in-law suite. If it were a separate, I would say that would just be a conditional use that would fall within the scope of the existing ordinance.
So would that be like a $1,500?
No, sir, I believe that would fall, my professional opinion is that would fall under the $150 because it is still it's a concurrent use. It's an allowed use within the zoning. If somebody wants to add an in-law suite to their house, then that's still resident. If it's in a residential zone, it's still a residential use. It still conforms to the existing zoning.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion. Roll call, please.
Chief?
Come on, up please.
The pool pricing,
Could I have you state your first and last name and address, please?
it's Amanda Abrahamson, 32822 230th Street Southwest, Fisher, Minnesota.
Could you speak up a little bit?
Yep. So concerning the pool pricing, this is just stating my views concerning it, not the Parks and Rec or cities. The difference between in-town and out-of-town pricing logistically from like how it would be implemented at the pool, it's gonna be kind of nightmarish. And so from that standpoint, I would prefer that we would not go ahead with doing that. Also, from the people that I do know personally that come to the pool from out of town, and just myself, when I think about even coming from Fisher, when I go to Grand Forks or when I go to Crookston to go places, or even, you know, to Boston, when I planned things as a homeschool mom, I would take into effect, I'm spending, so if I went to an event in Boston, I would say I'm spending $10 to go to Boston, and then I'm spending $20 to go swim at their pool, versus the person in Boston who's just spending the $20 to go in their pool. And I know that they're thinking the exact same thing. And so now they're spending $35 to come swim in our pool, where the residents here are only spending $20, if you know what I mean. And so now we're asking them to spend an additional amount of money, even though they're already spending that additional money in the gas to come here. And so,
But the people from outside of Crookston have no skin in the game and keeping this pool open.
They're
They're
not paying
paying property
taxes for
taxes.
it.
Or people are paying more by paying
So
property taxes.
we're already keeping this pool
Yeah,
open
that-
at an incredible expense to the taxpayers
I
of
understand
Crookston.
that. But
We
you're-
added
you're
5%
going
to the
lose
taxes.
people who are
We've added
coming.
5% to the taxes of everyone in Crookston for this. So I would imagine let's incentivize the people in Crookston at least.
The people outside of Crookston are not my main concern, the people that live here are.
Right, but you've been talking about numbers and wanting to up numbers, and you're going to lose numbers from all of these people who are out of town.
I thought it wasn't about
I'm
making
just
money
letting
with
you
the pool
know
at this
that
point.
there's going to be numbers that are going to go down, and that's revenue that's going down as well. So, that's
Well,
just
if
my
they're-
take
if they have
on
an
it.
interest of keeping the pool open at $35 that they're gonna pay, I don't think is exorbitant amount.
Well, the families, I know,
I mean, if
it's,
you look
they have
at the
like
amount-
6 to 8 in the family,
Look at the
so-
amount of each people, each person and paying in taxes that don't even go to the pool, that's something that's a lot of money for them as well.
I just wanted to let you know how I felt about it and how I feel when I go to other towns. And this is what I'm thinking about, so.
Yep.
And then also logistically, how it plays out at the pool. Our, system's a little clunky already how it is, and so it takes a little bit of time already. And so adding in the new pay system, just how we're adding in more, you know, right now it's just $5 per person for no matter who you are. And so now we have different tiers for ages or whatever. But now we would have it for different ages plus out of town different ages.
Are you saying the system could not do it?
The system can do it, it's just gonna be time consuming. And so for someone to come, we're gonna have to ID everyone. And then we're gonna have to, you know, do our clunky system. It's just gonna take time and it's gonna be frustrating for people when they walk in the door. That's all. So it's not that we can't do it, it's just gonna be frustrating for both the staff and for people who are coming to the pool. That's all. Thank
Okay,
you. for
thank
your
you.
feedback.
Further discussion?
I'd just like to remind the council that we have existing policies in place for other services, water and sewer being among them, where the city does have differentiated rates for in-resident, in-city and out of city.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Lot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Fisher,
I,
Briggs.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.02 is a resolution regarding approving of the increase of water and wastewater rates in 2025.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second by Don? Thank you. Discussion.
Mayor, members of the council, the rates that we have before us are those that were presented to the council previously by A2S with the rate study. It is an increase in rates that would alleviate some of the future needs of capital improvements and fund needed improvements for water and wastewater. Moving forward, we have significant usage. After these rates go into effect, pardon me, we will still be within the lower third of water and wastewater rates in the state.
Thank you. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.03 is a resolution regarding the firefighter labor union contract.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you, Clayton. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
You tell me.
Wendy,
Okay. It is a tie, so,
flip a coin.
yeah.
Discussion.
Mayor, members of the council, this is as we discussed previously. The only change from what was discussed previously, and this was at my direction to the fire union, there's a codicil, and it is my intention to move forward with this to accommodate our practices with those of the vast majority of businesses and other governments. I requested that they change the language to the bereavement policy area where it identifies, and I will also have a request forthcoming for the other contract with AFSCME. I have to discuss with the other union representatives. I'd like to change the language for bereavement where it allows the employee to utilize sick time for bereavement and remove the utilized sick time. I feel that it is best practices. If someone has a family member that passes away, it is common practice for most cities and most employers to simply grant bereavement pay without forcing the employees to utilize sick time. And I would ask the council to approve that change as well.
So does this increase the days?
No, it does not. It maintains the exact same policy. It simply removes the requirement that they use sick time for bereavement time.
So do they have a set amount of bereavement days or no?
They currently do.
And depending on relationship?
The relationships are identified both in the contract and within the
So
city
how
policy.
many bereavement days do they have?
They get two paid days off.
Okay. And then if they needed additional
If they
ones?
need additional time, at that point, they can utilize sick or vacation time at the chief's discretion, by requesting through the chief.
That's the way it is now.
No, sir, no.
What's the way it is now?
What it is now is simply they may utilize up to 24 hours of sick time for bereavement.
Oh. So if they needed more time off, currently they can't have it?
They probably
As a
can,
matter
but they're
of policy,
required.
it's not addressed.
Okay,
As a pragmatic policy, from an operational standpoint, I would take that as it's at the discretion of the chief, is my interpretation, as the policy is silent.
yeah.
That's in their contract?
Currently, the bereavement time is in their contract, and it is identified that they must use sick time.
So the language will have to change?
The language in currently as written for the council, it is written simply as bereavement. The sick is not identified. It would be an easy adjustment to add it back should the council, but again, that is in line with their best practices, and I don't think in someone's time.
Did the union bring that forth or?
No, I did, sir. I feel that I don't personally or professionally feel that it is right in somebody's time of grievance or grieving.
Well, why not let that be part of the bargaining process at the time if they feel that it's not correct?
Because I feel that in order to build goodwill with our staff, sir, sometimes you just have to do what's right.
Right.
The instances where bereavement is used is minimal. There is a very minimal budget impact and the goodwill that it would
So you
buy for our.
expect the union sometimes to come back and do some goodwill towards us at any particular time or?
I don't
Actually,
think
yes, sir, I
That's
do.
typically not how these negotiations work.
I also don't know if
Typically
this
not,
is
sir.
towards the union, it's just
I get it,
best
but
for our
employees.
usually when there's stuff like that, I've dealt with union negotiations as well. But usually when there's stuff like that, it's brought up with the union and it's negotiated on, but I guess that's not the way it is nowadays.
Well, it may be the way it is, sir, but I do believe that we need to do what we can to take care of our employees as best as we can in the ways that we can with minimal impact to the city budget.
Okay,
So basically, right now, you're saying they got they can, 1 day?
Right now, they take 2 days off, but they're charged sick time for every time, all of the time that they're out.
For the 2 days or?
That time, yes, sir.
And beyond. So right now, you're saying they get 2 days and after that, they use their sick time?
After that, then any additional time they would use sick or vacation at their own discretion.
Okay,
At the chief's, upon approval of the chief.
That's good.
all right. Thank you. Further discussion?
Just to let everybody know, this is just regarding the fire negotiations. This is not the ASME currently, so that still has not.
The police department contract is completely silent on bereavement, and the AFSCME contract comes up for renewal next year.
so when we vote on this, is this part of the deal getting added in that you're so graciously doing for the fire department?
Pardon, sir?
So is by us voting on this right now, that's gonna automatically be added in?
The draft contract before us does include the bereavement without the use of sick time. The council is able to amend that and ask that the sick time be added, the language referring to the utilization of sick time be retained.
Well,
I mean, I think it should be just retained it is until it's a negotiation factor within in the union. It's just my thoughts. I'm sure I might be outvoted, but it's just my 2 cents worth. I mean, that's why we negotiate.
Yes, sir, again, this is a very minimal. I don't believe that the number of times that someone takes bereavement, I believe this is a small gesture that goes a long way to building staff morale and staff loyalty.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, can I roll call, please?
Cavalier,
aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.04 is a resolution regarding adopting the 5-year capital improvement plan for the 2025 through 2029 years. Yeah.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this
So moved,
resolution?
Your Honor.
Thank you, Don. Second?
second.
Second by Tim. Discussion?
Mayor, members of council, this is again, as identified in my report. This is presented in the same format as last year with updates to the plan to reflect our 2025 expenditures. And the plan through apologies, I have a typo in my report. It says through 25, it's actually through 29 or 30. Note, there is a $5 million line item in 2027. That is the best current estimate of the city share of the projects affiliated to the Highway 2 state project coming through downtown. It is anticipated that the city will be bonding for that expense. The estimated levy, or the estimated bond impact on that would be approximately $400,000 for a bond payment in 2029 for that 2027 bond issuance. Other than that, it's fairly straightforward. We've simply moved some of the items to future years that were identified in last year's plan and moved them forward in the 5-year plan.
So the date again, the years, you stated 25 through 28 or
25 through 30.
No,
30?
29.
So 25, 26, 27.
Yeah, 25-year through 29.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, my math got unmathed.
Further discussion? Hearing none, can I roll call, please?
Cavalier,
Aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.05 is a resolution regarding adopting the property tax levy for taxes payable in 2025.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tim. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
A second by Clayton. Discussion.
So here,
Mayor, members of the council, the tax levy remains static. We do have a general levy tax for revenue of $4,466,171. A tax abatement special levy of $20,000 for the total identified in, well, $4,486,171. As is identified moving forward into the next resolution, this will provide for a balanced budget moving into 25 with some critical capital needs addressed.
so if Keenan, you can show it on the projection here, just show the $20,000 for the special levy. That's where it was added. So when I requested, did you have that resolution on there? It's for the updated packet. Keenan?
This was the updated packet that you sent me, but
Just pop, if you wanna just to reflect the $20,000, to show that it was taken from the general levy amount was originally that $4,486,000. But we took that $20,000 from the special, or from the general levy and put it to the special, so.
And just for clarification, the special levy is for previously incurred tax abatements approved by the city council. It's a separate line item on the resolution.
Okay, further discussion.
I will say this, and this goes towards the next one there, that I know it's an unpopular opinion, but we are in a place where we are having to put things off or not pay because we're making decisions to do other things. And we have sat up here for the last couple months blaming previous councils for the situation that we are in. And I feel like if we continue with this, because they did not want to hear, as you guys, we've been saying, people complaining, that if we continue this way, especially with the budget, that I don't feel like we can blame previous councils because we are doing the exact same thing and putting ourselves and digging ourselves into a hole and pushing the problems off till tomorrow. And that is just where I stand. And I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I feel like we have to do what is right for the whole of this community. And I know it's a tough decision, but.
Yeah, Morgan, I tend to agree with you. That's very well stated. You know, so with the budget of the pool, we have like what, 26,000 or something in it for maintenance,
Yes, sir.
plus the money that the fit are also raising. So how will that money be spent when, so I assume at some point, or if it hasn't been already been donated to the city? Or how does that money get put into the system for upkeep of the pool?
From the Fit and Fin group, sir? Normally, as we've been moving forward, the Fit and Fin group, the city has been paying for maintenance, and I'll use the actuators in the HVAC system. The city paid the $5,000 plus. The Fit and Fin group then wrote a check to the city, which we would accept as a donation. That would go into a separate revenue for the pool. Internal accounting, we can account for how those dollars add up and reduces.
So that basically.
It would be an operational consideration.
So that could basically increase the money that we budgeted for expense. That could basically increase them funds. Is that how I'm to look at it?
That is an operational paradigm that we can follow, yes, sir.
So here's the question that I have. What happens, what are we looking at, or what does it look like if we have, let's just say something happens within the year, $200,000. And we know that we don't have the budget to fix it. What do we anticipate? And we don't, and the Fin and Fit can't raise the money fast enough to get it open. Do we do we close the pool at that point? I mean, what is that?
If it were a public safety issue, as was the fire panel, then we would have no choice but to close the facility. If it were a discretionary issue, then we can address, I can't think of something offhand that would be that high dollar that if it were a roof leak, for example, we can attempt to Band-Aid the situation. It would be very difficult to come up with a direct plan absent a specific circumstance. But the short answer, I believe, to the question that you're asking is if we have a significant expense associated with an equipment failure at the pool that we don't have the funds, we would have no choice but to close the pool.
I guess,
Or find alternative sources in bonding, which would then incur bond payments over the course of the bond.
Okay.
I guess my question is, we budgeted 20-some thousand for operations or maintenance? Was it maintenance?
I believe that was maintenance.
Yeah.
And there was, what, 300 something for operations?
I wish to speak straightforward, so let me pull up that tab.
I guess my question, whether it say we budgeted 25,000 for maintenance on the pool, what do we do as a council if we exceed that?
It was my understanding that when we talked about this, we said we were gonna set that amount, and if we exceed it, there's no more going, unless it's coming from outside sources, because that's how I took it when we were talking about it. Like, when we said, here's the amount of money, if we get over that, that's all the city's putting in, we don't have any more money for it.
And I currently have 25,000 for equipment repairs, 20,000 for repairs and maintenance, building repairs and maintenance. It is, operationally, it is normal, while we identify those dollars, if one is tracking behind, trending behind. As an example, if we're in September and still have $18,000 in building, we can administratively move that between the accounts. So in reality, we have roughly $45,000 in various amounts available for maintenance of equipment and building.
I thought it was 25.
So we already budgeted this money for the pool. And let's just say we come, I'm just hypothetical here, in March, we have a $100,000 expense. But since we already budgeted the money for the pool and operations, the pool, the 300 and some thousand or whatever we did, can we say, okay, we can use that money, but this is gonna leave us at a shortfall at the end of the year. So we can use that money, keep it open until October 1st, September 31st, and then we have to close it the rest of the year because we're out of funds. Is that something that, and then we can start I mean, if we want to keep it open for 2026, then we could have that discussion again then. But I just don't want to get this thing going into, okay, we need more money, I just want people to know that once we're out of whatever we budgeted, we're out.
Yes, sir, and that, if we were to arrive in that, we would be asking council for a policy direction. That would be more of a policy. Do we wish to to paraphrase what you were saying, do we wish to shorten the operational season? Do we want to cut back on hours, or do we want to go for a closed season? But yes, it does put us in a quandary.
So the only other thing that I have on this is when the last meeting we talked about the hours of operation, and Jake said the hours of operation were like 6 to 10 daily. Is that? I seriously want, if we're gonna do this, I wanna have a schedule that's more accommodating to people that wanna visit the pool, and not just, that seemed like a very rigid time frame to me.
Yes, sir, and I do have Scott here this evening, and I have challenged both Scott and Jake with providing the most open operating schedule that they can provide, and staying within the budget for staffing that they can. They are still working on that final
And then
operating hours.
the other thing is, are we openly working with the Fin and Fit Club to get some because they're the loudest voice at the table here, so are we working with them to make sure the hours of operation that we're coming up with or work with what they're trying to do with this pool as well?
The primary needs, from my understanding, Scott can speak to it more, is that the Fit and Fin Group's primary needs are the 6 AM to 10 AM slot. There are some others, but that is their primary concern.
We met last week, Delane. One of the things that we looked at was hours of operation and extending them. It was Jake, myself, and Amanda. We are looking at, we obviously have our 6 AM to 10 AM that's pretty consistent with what goes on there. We are looking to expand from that 10 AM to noon for some community engagement, as far as like if somebody wanted to rent it, say, I really can't come up with a thought off my head right now, but if there was a rental for like the DAC people or something like that. We've also got it set now aside for from noon basically till 3:30 for, and we could go into the 10 AM hour for school rent, when the school needs it for classes. We're looking at an open swim time from 3:30 to quarter to 5, so kids could get dropped off after school, swim, then we would start swim lessons at 5 o'clock. Go till, I think it was 6:45 or 6:50. To 6, and then we would start, then we would have open swim after that. We also have a list of things that we would like to try, depending on where we're at financially and stuff like that, but we have some ideas that we'd like to try to bring in people after the open swim is over. So, you know, we are definitely looking at.
Is it possible to look at it on a case-by-case basis if somebody wanted to have it on a Saturday or Sunday for a birthday party?
Okay, what we did there is we have our open swim, obviously 1 to 4:30. We have set birthday times we have set private rental for birthdays from 9 till noon.
On weekends?
Yeah, well, on Saturday.
Okay.
We stayed away from Sunday. Sunday is a tricky day. You know, you have both schools of thought, and I guess from my standpoint, you know, Sunday's a tricky day.
Yeah, I get it, Scott, and I appreciate what you're willing to do so far, and yeah, I that's something that sounds like that I think should be acceptable. If we can, I just wanna see, you know, if we're available when the community wants us to be available, and how much that does increase the amount of people going there, cause
some of those activities take place during the workday, and I think it's hard for parents to be able to go with their kids, just
Exactly.
practically, right?
And so some of the stuff we're looking at, is to try to get like a family, you know, after open swim, then have a family swim.
Yeah, it's great.
So we've got that on our list. We've got, you know, one of the things we've looked at is a water volleyball league for one night. You know, one night a week. So we're looking at different, I mean, right now, everything's on the table. I think obviously we have to have our operations more. It also sets a tone for us, I think, for community engagement, where we can talk to the DAC, we can talk to to certain places, hey, would you like, we can make this available for you from this time to this time, and the fee is this much. Because if we don't increase the usage, and the amount coming in, we have to take that 300,000 and try to lower, you know, or raise our income to try to lower that.
Is there any collaboration with the, Fit and Fit to maybe have them, is it possible for them to have a lifeguard to come in and help? I mean, how does that look, or what does that look like?
You know, honestly, we haven't discussed lifeguarding with Fit and Fin. I think that's definitely something we can take a look at.
I mean, you know that they're very passionate about this, so I would think that, you know, in an effort just to try to keep it going, and they might be open to it.
I think anything can be on the table, Delane, at this point. You know, the biggest concern is making sure that people are certified if they're gonna be a lifeguard, obviously. The other thing with it is, you know, yeah, this is a hot button topic in this community. I mean, I can't go to the grocery store and get out of there in 5 minutes. So we definitely need to work, and, you know, that's kinda on Jake's end of it. I'm more keep the building open, but definitely, we have to work with everybody and anybody, because at this point, it all has to come down to, we gotta work together to get this thing to.
Yeah, the only other thing I would ask is we'd be open to maybe if somebody wanted to do it during our non-traditional times, that maybe we could be just open to the conversation and say, yeah, we could probably try to work something out. You know, on the one-off type of things.
Right, yeah, the one-off type of things, yes, definitely. We have to look at those, and we have to be able to be flexible.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Scott.
I guess, you know, just one more comment, with the budget here, you know, keeping the pool open adds like, I don't know, roughly 5 points to our levy right now, and you know, we had a couple major jumps for the last 2 years. And just kinda, it's gonna be out there, you know, for the next budget cycle. You know, we don't know where our, tax capacity is gonna be neither.
Well, I think one of the things that helped us this year is I was looking at my own tax proposal is the property values within the city went down, our estimated property values. So when you look at 2024 taxes versus 2025 taxes, people are thinking, well, hell, it ain't go up that much. Well, because.
Biggest asset went down in value.
Delane, council member, I was not aware that you were that much of an optimist.
So I mean, that's what happened as opposed to last year, because, you know, last year, property value went up, so that was half.
And the rate.
And then the rate went up, so that was, I mean, it was double whammy.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's why our truth and taxation meeting this year was pretty mild, you know, compared to last year. So I mean, at some point in time, like, you know, Morgan alluded to, I mean, we're gonna, just like previous councils, and I agree with her 100%, we are kicking the can down the road. We're not getting us financially healthy. And at some point in time, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna come to a screeching halt where we're, you know, I know I brought up a couple times about some budgetary, we at some point in time, we have to start about budget cuts, expense cutting, and not just, we have to have a serious conversation about cutting expenses within our city. I know I brought up a couple of ideas and it was not well received by the rest of the council, but to be honest, when you're doing your own finances at home, your kids don't get everything they want at a certain point, you know, so I mean, that's where we're at as a city. And,
They don't get a pool?
what?
You mean they don't get a pool?
I don't get a pool.
So my question is then, to that point, do we just keep kicking the can down the road because we don't want to upset a handful of people?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small minority of the folks that are here every meeting have a loud voice, and I appreciate them very much. And they're passionate about it, which I understand, but it's, it's, the rest of the city of Crookston is flipping the bill.
Because there is a chunk of things that were on that spreadsheet of things for capital improvement that we are not investing in. One of them is a snowplow, a dump truck, and a plow.
Yep.
We live in Minnesota. It's been nice. I mean, it's supposed to be January and it was nice out, so I'm cool with that continuing. But remember, we're not investing in that. So when people are calling us and upset about the roads being plowed and there being snow and it being icy, we have to look ourselves in the mirror.
Well, and you have to maintain the things that you have also, right?
Okay.
But to be honest, hold on, we're not done talking yet. To be honest, I mean, I was hoping to get some more feedback from the people at Truth and Taxation. But the people that came here said, hey, I'm willing to pay for it. So I'm like, okay. Nobody showed up to say that they were against it, so.
Nobody wants to fight in public either.
What?
Nobody wants to fight in public.
I would like to please, point of order, comments from the audience need to come from the podium.
I'm sorry.
We'll give you 1 minute.
Okay, just real quickly. I say we stop kicking the can down the road and let's do a special, I don't know terminology, you guys are city council, but a special tax levy, sales tax, a penny of extra or whatever it takes. Let's do those capital improvements for the pool so we don't have to worry about this pool that's gonna burn down and all this other naysayers here. It's just my opinion. I think let's stop kicking the can. Let's, I don't know, I guess we probably.
I fully support that. It's just unfortunately I can't do it tomorrow. Because I would love
It'd probably be
to
a
do it
special,
tomorrow.
would it be like a
Yeah.
special council meeting or something, or?
No, it's a.
It needs to be voted on and it has to have a special
Has to get
action.
involved at some point.
Okay, well, I say we do. Whatever it takes, you know, I know it's easier said than done. There's a lot more to it, but I think it's, my sister came down from Alvarado. They love the pool. They love the $5 per person. They love that. They're like $20.
The gentleman's time is expired.
Okay, anyways, I think it,
All right.
I think we don't have to keep kicking the can down the road.
Okay, let's, call for the vote, please.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Clough,
I'm gonna vote aye and support the pool for 1 more year, barring any serious expenses, but I don't know if I will be there next year.
Bernard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Nay.
Fisher,
Nay.
Briggs.
Aye.
1, 2, 3.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 or 7. So
Okay,
motion carried.
motion carries.
Item 8.06 is a resolution regarding adopting the 2025 budget for the city of Crookston.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve this resolution? I'm sorry, motion carried. Did I say that on the last one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. All right, I have a motion to approve this resolution.
806?
Yes.
Yes.
To adopt the
So-
2025 budget for the city of Crookston. So this is the levy amount. So this is now adopting the budget as
This
is.
yeah,
This should be an easy vote. We've already talked.
So
right.
we need someone to make a
So do
motion.
I got a motion?
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Don, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Tim. Okay, discussion.
Mayor, members of the council, this is to adopt the 2025 city budget. While this is a balanced budget, as has been previously discussed, it does have significantly reduced capital expenditures. The original 2025 ask for capital was in the neighborhood of 1.1 million. We are funding 495,000 of that 1.1 million. As was previously brought up by a member of council, we have significant deferments. And in addition, in the future, we are anticipating over the next 5 to 6 years, roughly, I should have hit the sum button on this. In the next 6 years, we're anticipating $21 million in capital expenditures for road infrastructure, the Highway 2 project, and various EDA projects. The sum total of the bond payments alone at the end of for 2030 is going to add $848,000 to our budget. At the end of 2025, the 26 budget is gonna be impacted by approximately $127,000 to pay bond payments. So though it starts small and gains, it's like a snowball as we move forward. Councilmember Klatt, yes, we will be making some very difficult decisions in upcoming years. However, the good news is this budget is balanced. It is operational, and it is a foundation that we can begin the work to move forward on next year.
Thank you. Further discussion?
I just have one question, with the community grant. I know we can hold the money for Scruffy Tails, but how long do we hold that money for? Cause I'm hoping they get it figured out.
Yes, if members of the council are unaware, currently Scruffy Tails is not operational. They've lost their vet, and under state guidelines, they cannot operate without a vet under contract. They are seeking another veterinarian to take the place. So until that, Chief Seltzer, have you heard any updates on that search from Scruffy Tails?
As recent as the end of last week, so like Jeff said, they're looking for a vet of records to partner with the Humane Society, and they have not found one yet. They've checked with several area veterinarians in the area and are unable to come to an agreement at this point. They are working with one, I believe, out of Thief River Falls, but they're running into some contractual issues, so at this point, no, we do not have anybody in line to take that position.
So what effect does that have for us?
We are not impounding animals.
Pardon?
We're not impounding animals. We have nowhere to put them.
In addition to that, they've lost their board president,
They've had a flop on the board, you're right. yeah.
several other board members as well, so they are really in need of some support if anybody wants to be a board member.
For December, we've paid through January 6th. That's as much as we've owed. We did not pay, we prorated for the month of January, I'm sorry, December, apologies. Through December 6th, so we are, thankfully with the weather, the cold weather, we don't have a lot of animal impound concerns. But just be advised, like, we're not taking animals. So.
All right, thanks, Darren. So back to Morgan's question, we can hold off on,
I mean, I hope they figure it out.
I do too.
Yes. We can hold that until such time. There's no statutory requirement. It is a council discretion. We can withhold it just simply for the budget year, upon which time that they become operational, we can disperse.
Okay. Thank you. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Platt,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Nay.
Fisher. Briggs.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Excuse me. Item 8.07 is a resolution regarding approving the intermediary relending program, IRP loan request for vertical milk, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Clayton, discussion.
Mayor, members of the council, the IRP committee did meet multiple times, requested documentation from the applicant, and upon review has forwarded a recommendation of approval based on the criteria brought forward and a connection to the potential of constructing or acquiring a facility within. Their intention has been stated to construct or acquire a facility within Crookston. There is a standard acceleration clause in all of our IRP loans that states that if they move the business or substantially move the business outside of the city or the service area of the school district, I believe it's worded as, that the entire loan would then be due and payable. So the recommendation from the committee is for approval for the $100,000 loan.
I guess my question is that why would we allow them to be in the school district instead of the city when it's basically?
The guideline is generally the city. There is within the program guidelines, and Holly is more well-versed on this than I am. There's a small clause that has some service area, if I'm not mistaken. Is that not correct, Holly?
Without having it.
See, my other question with that is, the rumor is out there too that he's looking elsewhere.
That is he has two business arms. They are separate LLCs from my understanding, one of which he is looking at locating in another location. However, this facility and the purpose of this loan is for a facility intended to remain in Crookston.
So, okay, let's say he completely moves or relocates out of Crookston. And the note is due in full. We also put like, I don't know, a lien on his equipment, can't move it until it is sold.
Yes, sir, that is also a standard codicil within the loan agreement, that we do have a lien on any and all equipment from the.
Is a first or like a second or third or?
I believe in this instance, I believe we're a first, which is really rare. Normally, we're second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
The only reason I bring it up is that, Valley Tech out there has had a lot of investment into the vertical malt and, and I can't remember the name of the company, but we had years ago, a lot of investment in a company and they're doing very well. They relocated to Bemidji at the time instead of investing in Crookston, so I just wanna make sure that, we're doing our due diligence and hopefully vertical malt stays here, so.
If I might.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Jeff is correct in what he's saying. They were, when I came on 2.5 years ago now, they had intended for them to be in the industrial park. And they were working with the city hall to get in the industrial park. And during that time, they got some grants and they had a lot of money set up and they even had investors ready to go into the industrial park. And during that time, there was another larger entity that was looking at the industrial park, which you're all aware of. And so City Hall was hesitant to commit even after the money. They had gotten a loan, they gotten a grant to get their investment done, their business plan done. And it didn't work out for us to sell them the property because of the other epitome investment that was coming out there. So it pushed them down, kind of can down the road. So the investment was to come into the city, and there is two different, one is milling and one is, I forget the other name of it, but you're correct, there's one project that would be closer to Grand Forks because of the mill that is there, and they would be supplying directly to somebody there, and the other would be in the Crookston. Our hope is to recoup and recapture some of the energy that was around that business to stay in Crookston and to work on what's happening in Crookston. That would be the hope in it. And also, there's also a life insurance policy attached to that.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps a little bit to understand why we got there. We didn't get here because of a lack of trying on their part. It was just the times that we were in as a city.
And it is my understanding that the principal for this business does have, his intent is to purchase a property for expansion within Crookston. And Mr. Mayor, just for clarification, I misspoke. The terms under the new guidelines invoked in January does require immediate and full repayment should the recipient cease substantial business operations in the city of Crookston. There is no additional area. That was an older guideline that I was looking at.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Gary. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Briggs.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.08 is a resolution regarding the approval of the policies for the Small Cities Development Grant Program.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Henry,
I'll second.
second by Morgan, thank you. Discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, members of the council, this is simply approving the policies for the Small Cities Development Grant Program that we received a presentation on earlier from John Wynn. This is a mostly housekeeping item. These are similar to the grant programs policies that the council has passed in previous years. This is just the most up-to-date version. They were included in your packet for review.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Alt,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.09 is a closed session to discuss the purchasing of real property. A motion to close the meeting pursuant to Minnesota Government Data Practice Act, specifically Minnesota State Statute 13D.05, Subdivision 3C.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
And we need roll call. So
Kim and Don.
Cavalier. Alt. You want-
Aye.
Cavalier.
Yeah.
Aye. Alt.
Aye.
Clot.
Aye.
Menard.
Aye.
Hibma.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Briggs.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries to close the meeting.
Would everybody be able to get up and go out into the hallway until the closed session is ended?
open the council meeting.
Item 8.10 is the summary. That's
There
what
you
I have, yeah. Item 8.10 is the summary of the closed session.
Mayor, members of the council, members of the public, the summary of the closed meeting was discussion related to the purchase of real property within the city of Crookston. The council did direct and give direction to the EDA director and myself with two potential paths forward in the potential acquisition of real property. We then discussed the various funding mechanisms and then came to a consensus and closed the meeting at 7:12.
Okay, thank you. All right, this brings us council reports. Start with Morgan.
Nothing too much, but I do wanna thank Wendy for everything that she has done for our community and city, and you will be missed, and so it's been an honor to work with you. I'd also like to congratulate Scooters for opening up a new business. It's fun to see a new business. I've already given them too much of my money, so I appreciate them there. Garbage, Chuck's not here, neither is Brandon, but I've had a lot of people reach out and are very excited about the garbage moving forward, so that is great to hear. The people are supporting that and are already signing up, and I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year, so.
Thank you. Henry.
Really just thanks Wendy for coming in and filling in for us and everything. It was good to have you on. I don't really have anything else.
Thank
Wendy,
you.
we're gonna miss you. And you were a good person for this board. And wish you the best. Also, I attended the Golden Link meeting a week and a half ago, discussion on their budget and stuff like that. They've added additional fees to some of their food and stuff like that. So they're gonna be fine with, according to the president of the board, they're fine. They're managed to get up where they needed to be for operations, so.
Good.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Tim.
Just want to wish everyone a happy new year. Wendy, thank you so much for your kindness and generosity of spirit during your tenure with us.
Thanks, Tim.
Lane.
Yep, same with everybody. I appreciate Wendy being here. She'll definitely be missed on this council. And hopefully she doesn't give it up and runs again someday.
Thanks, Lynn. Thanks, everybody.
No, I'm starting, you're last. I'm going to Dawn next. Dawn, anything?
Morgan said it all. Thank you very much, Wendy, for being here and being our neighbor here. I really enjoyed your visit. And we'll come back again to see us again. That's all I have.
Now it's your show.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. It's been a learning experience, and I just hope you all work together as best as you can and be kind and respectful to each other and make your best decisions, right? That's all you can do. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Well, this little gift here is not a goodbye. We're gonna try to get you back around, and it looks too cute to eat, so thank you very much.
Accidentally squished mine.
Anyway, Wendy, it's been an honor and privilege to serve with you this short time, and don't give up. I think you're an asset to council, so just keep in the wheelhouse. Thank you very much for your time here.
I have something, is she allowed to be on any committees or anything?
Yeah, of course. No, I've talked to her a little bit.
Get her going.
I wanna say things are looking up. We got through the shortest day of the year, so we can start thinking spring, you know, days are getting longer, so. Anyway, I just wanna wish everybody a happy new year, and just a reminder, we will not have a budget meeting tonight.
One thing, Your Honor, I just wanted to remind everybody, just as a gentle reminder, that We have a council meeting next Monday. Again, we're on the first and third council meetings of every month now. So just a reminder, we do have a council meeting next Monday. So.
Thank you. So nothing else come before council, we are adjourned. Thank you.